With the start of Chapter 7, we now have 5 completely new weapons. Even the weapons that look identical to past weapons we've had are actually entirely separate Chapter 7 variants that we haven't seen before, and some of these have aspects we've never seen in weapons before, like the new Deadeye Assault Rifle that has the lowest pull-out time of any weapon we've ever seen, by a lot. For reference, the Sentinel, which is considered a very fast pullout time, takes 300 milliseconds. Up until last season, the fastest pullout time we'd seen is the 2-shot shotgun and the Harpoon that have 266 milliseconds. The Deadeye takes half as much time at 133 milliseconds. It feels almost instant. It's so fast in fact that you can theoretically get a faster fire rate if you keep swapping between 2 Deadeyes rather than just shooting one, because the delay between each shot of the Deadeye is 182 milliseconds, which is more than the delay to just equip a new one. Obviously this isn't really a good strategy because you'd have to almost perfectly time each weapon swap for this to work, but still, this has never even been possible before with any automatic weapons. So they got rid of double pump and instead added double AR. But before considering holding 2 Deadeye ARs, we should look at whether it's even worth holding one, because there are 4 other spray weapons that all have higher base DPS than the Deadeye. The Deadeye's DPS is only 143. The next highest is the Enforcer at 160, the new Tactical Pistol at 193, the Hollow Rush at 200, and then the new Dual Micros at 233. And unlike the weapons from past seasons, all of these weapons deal the exact same damage to structures as they do to players. So their DPSs don't change in that aspect. Where they do change is their headshot multipliers. The pistol is the highest at 2x, then the Deadeye at 1.75, the Enforcer at 1.7, and finally the Hollow Rush and Micros both at 1.5. So the original DPSs we looked at changes if you're hitting headshots instead of body shots. In this case, the pistol is in first at 386, followed by the Micros at 350, Hollow 300, Enforcer 272, and Deadeye 250. But that's just theoretical maximum damage. In reality, there are many other aspects of these weapons that we haven't yet considered. When you take into account each weapon's reload speed, clip size, and fire rate, you can calculate their overall DPS including reloads between clips. This gives you a better idea of how good a weapon is at pressuring opponents during fights, so that you don't give them time to heal. Because for example, in the past, the Veiled SMG had great DPS, but with a high fire rate and low clip size, it just wasn't good at applying pressure. The Dual Micros from this season have the same problem. They have by far the highest base DPS, but because their fire rate is insanely high, they run out of bullets too quickly and their reload speed isn't low enough to counteract it. That makes it so that, again, the Tactical Pistol is the weapon that can apply the most pressure at 126 DPS. The Micros are in second at 121, then the Enforcer at 115, and lastly the Deadeye and Hollow Rush are both in last at 100 DPS. But there are still some aspects of these weapons that we haven't looked at, like their scopes. Both the Deadeye AR and the Hollow Rush SMG have red dot scopes, and they added the ability to ADS while mid-air this chapter, so weapons with scopes got major buffs. It might not seem like a major change, but it is. Usually when trying to chase someone, with a scoped weapon you had much less accuracy because you couldn't ADS while trying to chase. But now, you can have pinpoint accuracy almost the entire time you're chasing them, which in the case of the Hollow Rush SMG, means it's incredibly easy to get bleed damage through builds. And even between the weapons without scopes, some are much more accurate than others. So to get a good idea of how much your maximum damage will be from different ranges, I tested each weapon in-game and negated vertical recoil so that there wasn't any bias in how I control recoil. This will tell you how well you'll be able to beam someone when starting a fight with each weapon. And the differences in DPS were quite surprising. I mean, the Micros being the worst was pretty obvious with only 105 at close range and 22 at far range. But I was surprised at how poorly the Enforcer performed at all ranges. It was so bad compared to the others that I thought, well, maybe that's because it's only meant to tap fire. Only shoot it when first shot accuracy comes back. So I tested that as well. And even if you tap fire the weapons instead, the Enforcer is still much worse. So at close range, it's Hollow Rush, Pistol, then Deadeye. But then at far range it flips to Deadeye, Pistol, then Hollow Rush, since the SMG's damage falls off harder. The pistol obviously can't keep up with the scoped weapons here, but it's closer than you would think because of its 2x headshot multiplier. With this many different kinds of weapons, you would expect there to be some scenarios where you'd prefer one over the other, but that seems to not always be the case. For in the box maximum damage, it's pistol, then the Micros, then the Hollow. For pressuring, it goes pistol, Micros, then Enforcer. For starting a fight at close range, it goes Hollow, Pistol, Deadeye, and for long range tags, it goes Deadeye, Pistol, then Hollow. So the Tac Pistol is the best for box fighting, with the Dual Micros in close second. The Deadeye Assault Rifle is the best for long range. The Hollow Rush SMG is a good in between that's also the best at starting fights. And the Enforcer is good at... Thanks for watching. Don't actually try to use double AR by the way. You would have to perfectly hit a 48 millisecond timing window 7 times per second just to increase your DPS by 36%. And remember to like the video and use code SlyJack in the item shop.